Welcome to Week 5 of the Iowa Conference Series here on YouTube, and we are set for another exciting week of action. But first, let's take a look at the results from Week 4. Had a couple of non-conference games with a bunch of conference action in there. Iowa City West is a tough road loss at Louisiana Tech, 49-24. Cedar Falls gets a strong win at Solon, 37-22. Tigers remain undefeated. They're ranked 8th in the country. Williamsburg with the tight win, I should say, against Buffalo at home, 21-19. Gladbrook-Reinbeck blows out Cedar Rapids Prairie on the road, 45-10. The Battle of Waterloo goes to West this time as they beat East 24-17. Waverly-Shell Rock has no trouble with Central City, 35-6. In the national game of the week, Starmont was all over Don Bosco. The Don defense could not stop the Stars as they win 66-35. Starmont up to number 3 in the country with the win. Don Bosco falls to 13. Waterloo-Columbus sneaks past Bowling Green at TJ McLaughlin Stadium, 27-23. And Iowa City High gets a good win over Cedar Rapids Kennedy, score there 38-24. And now let's take a look at this week's matchups. First of all, in user games, Cedar Falls is back at home as they host Iowa City West. Starmont goes on the road. They'll head to Grundy County as they take on Gladbrook-Reinbeck. And Waverly-Shell Rock heads south all the way to Iowa County. That'll be a heck of a road trip for the Go Hawks as they take on Williamsburg in what should be a good matchup. In non-user games, the 17th-ranked City High Little Hawks head over to Memorial Stadium to take on Waterloo East. It's non-conference action for Cedar Rapids Kennedy as they go to just one of the real iconic stadiums in college football at Notre Dame Stadium to take on the Fighting Irish. And it will be conference action in Waterloo as the Sailors of Columbus host Solon. So some good matchups this week, including 3 great user matchups. Don Bosco is off this week, but the other 3 are in action. And we'll start over at Tiger Stadium, where Cedar Falls is set to host Iowa City West. And here we are at Tiger Stadium as Iowa City West looks for their second win of the year. Tigers looking to stay unbeaten. Little dump down pass to the running back is good for a first down, but the ball comes loose. And the Tigers have it. Kayvon Justice recovers the fumble, and Cedar Falls forces the early turnover here, less than 30 seconds into the game. And Cedar Falls on offense now. Play action pass. Madison going end zone. Pass is caught, and that's going to be a touchdown. Brendan Blankenship on the reception from Adam Madison. And Cedar Falls strikes quickly here at Tiger Stadium. They lead 7-0 over Iowa City West. The Trojans trying to respond. Deep shot, but that's going to be picked. Another turnover for the Tigers as Braxton Hall gets the interception. 2 big early mistakes from Iowa City West as the Cedar Falls defense has come to play. Madison, play action pass, going to get rid of it. That's caught, and that's a touchdown. Christopher Greenwell Jr. on the touchdown reception this time. And Cedar Falls, you can't ask for much better of a start than that. 2 turnovers lead to 2 touchdowns. They're at 14-0. But Iowa City West looking to respond, and they go to the end zone for a score as there's a good response by the Trojans. 14-7 now the lead for Cedar Falls as Iowa City West trying to crawl back into this thing. And a quick throw is intercepted by Madison as he makes a mistake, and the Tigers turn it over. Now Iowa City West with a chance to go tie the game here at 14 in what has been an eventful opening quarter of play here at Tiger Stadium. Cedar Falls gives up the long touchdown there. It's a big touchdown reception for the Trojans. And just like that, we are tied at 14 in the game that has been back and forth here early on. Late first quarter, Madison steps up in the pocket, fires, and that's going to be a touchdown for Jay Kumar. The tight end gets into the end zone. It has been an explosive first period of play as Cedar Falls takes a 21-14 lead into the second. And the Tiger defense makes a play here. There's a big sack there for Cedar Falls by William McSimmons as they force a 4th and very long here on 4th and 24. And that would lead to a Tiger touchdown. Deuce Washington III gets into the end zone. He's been a great player this year for the Tigers as he's going to hit the Heisman pose after the score. And Cedar Falls leads 28-14. Trojans trying to make a play, but there's another big play for the Tigers. This time it's Stephelian Green who gets back there for the sack. Forces a 3rd down and long. Now Trojans on 3rd and 6. Making a play, but it's intercepted. Picked off again by Cedar Falls, their 3rd turnover of the day. Kayvon Justice recovered a fumble earlier. Now he has a pick. Cedar Falls trying to make it a 3-score ball game. Pass is going to be caught, diving across, and that is a touchdown for the Tigers. Ivan Berry with the touchdown. 3 different Tiger receivers have caught a touchdown today, including the tight end to make it 4 different players. and it's a 35-14 lead here. 5 seconds to go until the half. Iowa City West with a desperation heave way down the field, and that is going to be caught, and it's a touchdown. Incredible play there at the buzzer. Iowa City West does get on the board. So it is a 2-score game at the break, 35-21. But Cedar Falls changes that in a hurry, as that is going to be a touchdown run there for the Tigers. They lead 42-21, a big score there here. Late third quarter, Trojans trying to respond. Pass to the end zone, but it's intercepted. Another pick for the Tigers. That's a big-time play there as they get the football back. A big interception there for Cedar Falls, and this one could put it out of reach, and Madison will do just that, as it's a blowout here at Tiger Stadium as Adam Madison runs it into the end zone, and Cedar Falls leads 49-21. A big advantage there as Iowa City West trying to get back on the board. They're not quitting. That is going to be caught. It's a touchdown for the Trojans, but this one is still well out of hand, 49-28. And that is going to be our final score as Cedar Falls started fast and did more than enough in the second half. They are a dominant win here today, 49-28. They remain undefeated. Now let's head over to Grundy County where Gladbrook-Reinbeck is hosting third-ranked Starmont, and the Stars strike first. A deep touchdown pass to Anwar Johnson as Elijah Fitzgerald gets the offense started with that throw, and Starmont takes the early 7-0 lead. Gladbrook-Reinbeck trying to make a play, but there's a big sack for Starmont as Kai Gilbertson gets back there and makes the play. Starmont football again now, and here comes Johnson on the run, trying to get past the guy, and he does, and he's going to be taken down well down the field all the way to the 31-yard line. What a start here for Johnson. Now Fitzgerald going end zone. He's got Michael Hilton, and he's got a touchdown. Michael Hilton on the touchdown reception from Elijah Fitzgerald. And the Stars are rolling here early in this one. Of course, Starmont ranked number 3 in the country, 3-0 after a big win over Don Bosco last week. And there's another mistake for Gladbrook-Reinbeck, as that's intercepted by Kyle Godfrey Jr. The free safety gets to it. Good return as well as he gets all the way down to the 23-yard line. And Starmont on 2nd and 12. Fitzgerald finds a receiver that's caught, and that's going to be a touchdown to Deion Snelling. The junior out of Wisconsin gets into the end zone. And Starmont is having their way with GR so far. They lead 21-3 after a Rebel field goal. Fitzgerald takes a deep shot to Hilton with just seconds remaining in the half. That's a big-time gain, and Starmont's going to use a timeout. Now Johnson on the carry. Spin move, and he's into the end zone. Oh, what a move by Anwar Johnson. He's been phenomenal this season, and he gets back into the end zone. Starmont all over the Rebels so far in this one. 28-3 advantage at the break. But Gladbrook-Reinbeck going end zone, but it's another mistake. Kyle Godfrey Jr. with his second pick of the day. And Starmont gets the ball back, leading 28-3. Fitzgerald in the pocket, gets rid of it for Michael Hilton. Deep shot, it is caught. A big-time gain there down to the 41-yard line. And Starmont looking to punch it in again. Fitzgerald on the option, pitches it back to Johnson. Blocking is there, and he's going to go in for a touchdown. Anwar Johnson having another fantastic ball game here in Gladbrook. And the Rebels are no match for Starmont so far in this one, down 35-3. The Rebels still trying to make a play, though, and there's a mistake for the Stars, a deep shot, and that's going to be a Rebel touchdown. A touchdown for Gladbrook-Reinbeck as they desperately needed that, but it's still quite the road ahead if they want to try to force a comeback, and Starmont's not the team you want to try to come back against. Fitzgerald on 4th down makes a mistake, and it's intercepted, picked off by the Rebels. Tackle made on the return by one of the offensive linemen, but the Rebels go to the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown, 35-17. GR getting right back into it, but it is just going to be a little bit too late here most likely as Starmont looking end zone. Fitzgerald takes a shot. That's Michael Hilton again. He's been incredible today, and he makes the grab as Starmont reclaims, or gets back on the board, I should say, leading 42-14. And Starmont was just too much today as they stay undefeated. And then we'll finish over in Iowa County as Williamsburg hosts Waverly-Shell Rock. And it's going to be the Raiders that strike first. A touchdown pass there for Williamsburg as they lead the Go-Hawks 7-0. Waverly-Shell Rock undefeated so far this season, trying to stay that way, ranked number 12 in the country. And Brett Dubose would do his part there as he falls across the goal line for a touchdown. The junior out of Scottsdale, Arizona gets into the end zone. Waverly-Shell Rock ties the game at 7 on the first play of the second quarter. Late second quarter now. Hermanson in the pocket. Steps up. Taylor Hermanson's going to take off, and he gets to the end zone. Taylor Hermanson on the touchdown run for Waverly-Shell Rock as the Go-Hawks take their first lead of the day, 14-7 over the Raiders. 30 seconds to go until the half. Williamsburg trying to tie the game, gets out of the pocket, taking off for the end zone, and the Raiders will tie things up shortly before the half as we are going to go into the locker rooms, knotted at 14, a big-time play there for Williamsburg. 2 seconds to go until the break, and Waverly-Shell Rock gets it, and they are going to score. Hugh Kraus, the fullback, gets it on the outside and gets into the end zone. And on the final play of the half, Waverly-Shell Rock takes a 21-14 lead into the locker room. Hermanson goes end zone, and that is going to be caught by Juan Vaughns for a touchdown. Waverly-Shell Rock extends their lead there. 2 big plays there as the Go Hawks get back on the board. They lead 28-14. And Williamsburg makes a big mistake as it's intercepted by Brock Cassidy of the Go Hawks, and he's going to go all the way. It's a pick 6 for Brock Cassidy, who's been phenomenal this season for the Go Hawks. And Waverly-Shell Rock takes a commanding 34-14 advantage after a missed extra point. Less than 4.5 minutes to play in the game, but Williamsburg not quitting. They're going to go to the end zone, and that is going to be caught for a touchdown. The Raiders get back on the board as Williamsburg takes the lead there on the Williamsburg gets back on the board, I should say, on that big play. And they're still not out of it. They have the football back here, just over 2 minutes to play in the game. They're going to go to the end zone, and it's caught again. Touchdown for the Raiders, and all of a sudden, they are just down by 6. 34-28, Williamsburg right back into this thing. And they are going to get the football back here with just seconds to play. On 4th down, pass is intercepted, a mistake there by the Raiders, and Brock Cassidy gets his second pick of the day. And that is going to seal a gutsy win for Waverly-Shell Rock as they hold on for a 34-28 victory. This one looked dicey there in the fourth quarter for the Go Hawks, but they do hold on and secure a 34-28 win. The Go Hawks are undefeated still after this hard-fought win. And now let's take a look at the conference standings after today's action. Waverly-Shell Rock, the only team with 4 conference wins. They're both 4-0 heading into next week. Cedar Falls and Starmont both remain 3-0 after wins today. Cedar Falls 5-0 overall, Starmont 4-0. They did have the double bye early in the season. And Don Bosco, who is off this week, is 1-1 in conference play, 3-1 overall. The Dons will be back in conference action next week, as will both Waverly-Shell Rock and Starmont. Cedar Falls does have an off week next week. But that is going to do it for this edition of the Iowa Conference Series here on YouTube. Thanks so much for joining me for this episode. Some more great action coming your way next week right here, the Iowa Conference Series. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.